What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of U4 Chainsaw Man. This is episode 4, and with me, as always, I have Blue Spade.
Yeah, I'm getting pleasantly surprised in how much more consistent this series has gotten ever since the show started. Because it doesn't seem like the animation quality has dipped even in slower moments such as the second half.
Yeah, I was saying the last episode was pretty impressive in terms of its animation, but this one is, I feel like in some ways it kind of outdoes the last episode even, because mostly in terms of its fluidity too, because like there's just a lot of movement in this episode in terms like in the fight scene. I'm just impressed with like how like I said, just how fluid everything looks. Animation's not stiff at all. Like it's just very like, the characters are just moving really fast, and it's that's the most impressive thing about it to me. But yeah, we don't really have any CG in this episode either, so I think that definitely helps. We just kind of have Denji, like he can't really transform back into Chainsaw Man because he requires more blood. So yeah, basically this episode just starts off right where the last one of course left off, where Denji had just defeated the Bat Devil. But it also starts with kind of going more into Power's backstory, kind of with, going more into her relationship with Meowie, and that she was kind of like before, I guess she had been taken in by the public safety. She had basically just been killing random animals and just, consuming their blood with Meowie. And of course, we just pick up in the present where she's well, at least she was in the stomach of the Bat Devil, but now that the Bat Devil's been defeated, she's just kind of surrounded by its intestines. Yeah, she basically like pretty much asked Denji like why he would save her, and of course, Denji's whole reason for doing so is just because he wants to fondle her chest. So. And she just kind of ridicules him because it's, she thinks it's a stupid reason. But of course, before they can really, even though they won against the Bat Devil, we have another devil that shows up like right after that, which I believe is called the Leech Devil, who apparently was, I don't know, like romantically involved or something with the Bat Devil. Which kind of the thought of that makes me cringe, but yeah, so she shows up and I guess to avenge the Bat Devil and ends up fighting Denji.
Yeah, and of course Denji tries to transform once again, but due to the lack of blood consumption he's had, or the amount of time he's been the Chainsaw Man after the events of the last episode, he can only, I guess, get like a small fraction of that chainsaw out of his head. So he pretty much tries to fend off the Leech Devil by himself, but physically he's able to fend it off as best he can before the Leech Devil gets the advantage over him. But overall, the animation quality of this scene is still top notch. Like, surprise, like, they go from one action sequence from the last episode, and then they just go into another one that's, that's still top quality for its animation.
Yeah, like I said, it was really impressive, the fight scene in this episode. I know that MAPPA also tends to, like, whenever they put out the Blu-rays, they tend to improve some things. I can't imagine, like, I mean, to me, like, this already looks great. The only things that I really think could potentially be improved upon is, like, some of the CG, of course. But, like, nothing here. I feel like everything here actually looked great. So I don't know. I don't know what they could do.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was really impressed by this whole, like, fight sequence. I mean, of course, I guess you can't really call it too much of a fight. It's like Denji does fight back, but of course he gets eventually overpowered by the Leech Devil. The Leech Devil is about to eat him, and of course like right before Denji gets eaten, he's saved just in time by Aki, who unleashes Cone, which is the Fox Devil that he's contracted with to pretty much just consume the Leech Devil. And I'm also really liked how Cone looks in this. It looked really good in the manga too, but I really feel like MAPPA did it justice in that regard. But yeah, Cone just comes in, just eats just eats all of Leech Devil. Yeah, so it just kind of shows you how powerful the cone is. You know, like it's pretty much like I guess Aki's like main weapon more or less. But we kind of get a glimpse of the of you know what the devils that certain members, you know, like Aki of public safety, the devils who they're contracted with, like what they can do. Because we're gonna see like later on in the series, like other devils that other members of public safety also have contracts with.
Yeah, and we also see like a couple other, I think 3 other devil hunters. I think one of them was
Yeah, it was Himeno, Kobene, and I forget the guy's name. But yeah.
Yeah, but I think I'm pretty sure I know. Yeah, the one woman in the eye patch is Himeno, and the other girl is Kobeni. It's like, you know, I think it's notable for her more cowardly personality, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but we only get to briefly see them in this scene. So the remainder of this episode is, of course, Denji's recovering in the hospital. They somehow managed to recover his arm from the Leech Devil and then have it reattached. And of course, I think like Denji's eye was like partially, right eye was like partially popped out of his head somewhat before.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, well, he's able to fully recover, I guess, like due to him being like part devil and such. But of course, Aki, Aki talks about like what really happened, and he assumes that Power lured him in to the Bat Devil, which led to the whole circumstance of them finding and killing the Bat Devil in the city, and of course fighting off the Leech Devil soon afterwards. But of course, you know, he gets the testimony from several people that Denji ended up saving in the last episode, especially like that office woman, the guy in the car, and I think there was one other guy. I forgot.
Yeah.
But Aki like almost had the intention of like reporting, fully reporting of what Power did, of like trying to lure Denji to the Bat Devil, and it would probably have led Power to be executed, but he decides not to once he gives Makima, like, I guess, like a partial report, just not the whole truth of the situation.
Yeah, he kind of just he leaves certain things out. Like he pretty much covers for Power, so you know nothing really ends up happening to her. Aki ends up letting her go. And we see, of course, one other scene with Himeno where she kind of like, I think she more or less like asks him if that's a good idea. But yeah, of course they end up letting Power go.
Yeah. But I'm starting to suspect that Makima kind of knows, somewhat. I mean, she suspects that, you know, she asked Aki.
I'll just say Makima knows she knows a lot more than whatever she might, you know, what she's letting on, basically. Yeah. So yeah, Makima, is it safe to assume Makima probably knows everything? I'll just say that.
Yeah, and then of course we go into the next scene, which is almost kind of like a slice of life sequence with Aki going about his daily routines in the morning, and the animation. It's just like they put a lot more detail in the animation for this scene, you know, just as well as they did in the action sequence. But what really kicks into high gear is Power, of course, moving in with Aki and Denji.
Yeah, she literally kicks the door down.
Well, she actually breaks the doorknob off, you know, off the hinges.
Yeah, breaks the doorknob off the hinges. Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course this this leads you know, Aki to just call Makima, saying like, why am I having to put up with Power? Because well, Makima suggests like Power stay with Aki because it would look suspicious if she stayed in the office every single day. So she suggested that you know, I guess stay with Aki and Denji, I guess, as like more of like team bonding of some sorts. And you get a little bit of shenanigans of Power not really behaving like I would say she's a little bit worse than Denji was, but Denji, he's a lot more like, subdued than he was like when he first moved in. She just refuses to eat certain things, refuses to flush her, stuff down the toilet, and then only occasionally taking baths, which doesn't sit well with either Denji or Aki. So yeah. So at the end of the scene, well, near the end of the episode, Denji's just basically just cleaning out the mess that Power leaves in the toilet, and then Power, of course, gets back to him. Pretty much going back on the deal she agreed to about allowing Denji to touch her chest. Well, I guess fondle her chest for 3 times. One, saving the cat. 2nd, for killing the Bat Devil, and 3 for helping her, with Aki, I guess. And the episode just ends abruptly soon after that before we see what happens.
Yeah, kind of leaves us on a cliffhanger in that regard. But yeah, and then we get the another new ending, which this one is just mainly focused on Power, and it's just kind of just focused on her chaotic personality, I guess, because we just see Power in these different outfits and just doing random things, as well as like it does feature some of the other characters too, just kind of like reacting to her. But the song was just like okay. I think I found the visuals, I guess, more entertaining. Like the song was all right, but I still think like so far like my favorite's probably like the third ending. This one was okay, but definitely not my favorite. But I did like it. It was definitely like really humorous, like which I think was the intention, just to show just how ridiculous Power is as a character. But yeah, I mean, how did you feel about it?
Yeah, I thought it fit Power perfectly. Just, and also they put a lot of the animation sequences in this ending, especially her dance sequence in the end credits. So it's just I don't think the people in MAPPA are really getting paid as much as they really should be.
That could be said for a lot of Japanese animators, though. I mean, it's pretty much, it's more or less it's slave labor for the most part. The same could be said for mangakas for everything they do, and they really don't get paid that much. But yeah, I mean, with MAPPA, there is like a lot of freelancers that do work for them too. But yeah, I mean, I would also say, they for everything they do, like I wish they really could get paid more, because I mean, it's really just mind blowing, like, everything we've seen from them. But yeah, I thought this is a really, was a great episode. And, Chainsaw Man continues like to progressively get better. Like, so I forget exactly, it's been a while since I've read the manga, but I forget exactly what we're going to be seeing in the next episode.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely looking forward to it. I can tell you that there is some pretty good development with Denji, Aki, and Power and their relationship. So I'm also looking forward to that. But yeah, I don't really have too much else to say about the episode, though. I don't know if you have anything else to say about it.
I'm enjoying it. just seeing like how fun these characters are and how good the animation quality is. It's just it really lives up to all the hype and marketing that they put out like for the past years so far.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I like about it is you can tell that MAPPA really is passionate about Chainsaw Man. Like they really wanted to do the source material justice. Like you can tell just based on, the animation quality and, all the amount of effort they're putting into every episode.
From what I can tell with the pacing, it seems to me that I would assume that maybe the last episode is only going up as far as volume 6 or 7, because I don't know if they're
most likely.
Yeah, because I don't think I think there's like there's 11 volumes from what I can tell.
Yeah,
unless it's
there's 11 volumes in part 1 of the story. I'm assuming that like that most likely, like I don't know, did they confirm this is going to be like a split core, or did they just say like so far it's just going to be like 12 to 13 episodes or something.
I think 12 episodes is where it's so
okay.
far as
I
to what we can tell.
I'm thinking like this will probably be it'll probably be a split core. So like, yeah, like you said, the first 12 might cover up to volume 7. And then like the second half, I think could cover the second half of part 1.
I mean, well, you know, I only have like the first 2 volumes, so I haven't read that far into the manga just yet. But the you know, this episode itself is still within like the second volume. So as far as the you know the amount of content that they've been putting out so far, I think this is the 4th episode. I'm pretty sure it's like the end of this season is only going up as far as maybe 6 or 7 volumes.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right, and also, you know, considering the pacing of the series so far, it's always possible it could pick up. But I kind of hope
I don't anticipate them to just rush through like the remainder of the volumes.
I don't think they will.
Yeah,
like I think the pacing is going to stay the same for the most part. But yeah, so that being said, guys, until next Tuesday, we will see you all next time.